welcome back to a new video. I am your host, The Radio CD, and today we have finally gotten another update. So if you haven't seen on Twitter, like, I don't know, Joe, like 3 days ago, Bloxburg released a message, I'll say an announcement out to the people, and it was essentially saying, hey, I'm Froggy Hops, I'm the new community manager, and he's basically going to be like, I guess, the game manager from now on. So hopefully you will get some more updates about what that's going to entail in the future, but we're already off to a great start. There are a few things that we're going to be looking at today because according to the changelog, we have quite a few new fixes. So we no longer are going to be fainting. We have no more hospital bills. We have no more towing fees. We have increased job earnings, which I will be testing out today. Another thing we have is that public neighborhoods have changed. I will show you that in a second. We have voice chat. We have some event items that I'm going to be showcasing. We have some new emotes, which I was not expecting. We have a new vehicle, which is the unicycle. We can skip tutorials. They fixed a camera bug on console, which I didn't even know you could play Bloxburg on console. But I guess now you definitely can. And they also added some localization for some languages, French, German, etc. So I can, well, I guess you could just go see this, but I can link the changelog down below if you just want to see the full thing again. And let's go ahead and jump into what's new. So if I click here on neighborhoods, you're going to see like this list of neighborhoods that you, I guess, have recently joined. So mine is the only one that shows up for mine because I haven't been in anybody else's server. But all of these right here are just public servers that are open to anyone. They are neighborhoods, but essentially what you can do, you can put a filter on them. And essentially, if I was looking for a role-playing server, I could click role-play server and it would show me all of the role-play servers, which I think is really cool. So you can even tag your own servers like mine. Mine currently is just social and hangout. I don't know if I'll change this, probably not. I might eventually open it up to everyone again, but they also changed the whole menu. So it just looks, you can still do the same things that you did before. It just looks a little different. I do actually like the new menu. I think this is pretty cool. You can change your profile pic to kind of symbolize whatever you're doing in your server. And you can also change your name here. Everything is essentially the same as before, except you have a few more customization opportunities. And it also tells you if the server has voice chat enabled or not. So with all that being said, I'm going to go to my neighborhood. Okay, let's try this again. So you might get a weird pop-up saying that your neighborhood has expired. Mine doesn't expire until 11/8. So I was like, what is going on? You just have to go to, I'll show you. So if you go to neighborhoods and then you go here, you just have to join it from here apparently, because I tried to join it from like the recent neighborhoods and it was like, hey, your server has expired. I was like, whoa. And it'll say that it's extended until the original date that it was supposed to expire, if that makes sense. So if you guys are anything like me, I'm just most interested in the pay update because I'm like, I've been having to work for so long for a lot of these projects that I've been doing. I do still have a video coming out tomorrow. So, and let me tell you guys, I had to work for so long to even pay for what I was doing. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at these items first so we can get this out the way. And we actually have some pretty unique items that I was definitely not expecting. So let's start off with these really big things in the back. Okay, these big giant walls. And I mean, these are probably some of the biggest assets that we have in the game. So we have a smaller backdrop here. We have a slight, well, no, this is about twice as large and tall. These actually have like multiple variations. So we have one with mountains, we have one with the beach. I think we also have 3 more. I just didn't place them because I'm out of money. These are quite expensive. The backdrops range from about $2,000 to $5,000, I'm pretty sure. And this one, if you're on small plot, it pretty much takes up the entire width of the plot. But the backdrops are actually really pretty. I'm not sure if you can change these. Let me test that real quick. So you can't change them, but you can roll them up. And the animation is actually really pretty. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep that in because I was like just looking. I was like, wow. But yep, that's how it looks. I assume. Yeah, that's just the button that would, I guess, kind of show that, hey, you can pull this up. But I actually like these. I don't know where I'm gonna use them. I've never built a film set before, but maybe we actually have a reason to do that now because we have a ton more objects to look through still. So starting on the right, we have these theater curtains, which I think these are pretty interesting. You can freely place them. I could see these possibly being useful in a regular house. This small one is about the same height as a standard wall, so that could possibly work. So the small curtains are 9 and 950. The 950 one is the framed one. This taller one is 1750, and this really big one back here is 3250. So again, these things are not cheap, but we do make more to compensate for that. And these also come with a really nice animation. Very dramatic. It's pretty slow, which I do like, because it's like curtain call, you know, I think that's pretty cool. And again, these smaller ones, they also have the same animation. I think these are pretty cool objects. Again, not sure where I'm going to be able to use them, but you know, everything is not meant for me. So I think this is going to be really cool for those of you that like filming things like movies and such. You could even do like live plays, I suppose, which is actually pretty interesting. So we also got these new theater chairs, and these are actually separate. So if I quickly show you, oh, they connect. So the right one, I'm quite sure. Well, this is just theater seat. So this one has both armrests, but you can also use this one, which only has one of them, and it comes out really clean when you connect them, which I think is pretty cool. I don't see this really being used as anything other than a theater seat, because that's exactly what it looks like. So I'm like, versatility, you can't really use it anywhere else, but I think that's fine. I think this is a pretty cool object for those, again, that want to make big stadiums or big theaters. The next thing we have right here are 2 green screens. This one for some reason was put away, but let's start with this one. So this one is kind of like, if you've ever done like a photo op or something like that, it's essentially like that, but it's just a green screen. I think this is pretty cool. We do have like stage lights, so you can kind of prop those up around here and use those as lighting for, you know, your little pictures or whatever. Or if you were, I guess if you were doing like a new profile pic or something, you could actually do it in Bloxburg, because this is a green screen. But we also have another one here, which is like a pull up green screen. It just pops out like that. No cool animation, but I'm okay with that. And you can also take this one and bring it along with you wherever you want to go, which I find pretty interesting. I'm not sure how you're going to place it down straight. Maybe you have to be looking like straight on, and then close enough. But I actually think this is a really cool prop for if you have like an office and you want to like play as like a YouTuber or something like that. You could put that behind you. I think that's pretty cool as decoration. And we also have these 2 new podiums, and you can actually use them, which is pretty cool. It just kind of puts you behind the stand in that presidential stance, you know, where they're standing behind and just talking out to the people. And we have 2 variants. So we have a more kind of university-esque one, which I think is interesting, or debates. I could see that being kind of like a debate podium, and this one is more fancy. I could see this being in some sort of like courtroom, which I guess you could make a pretty cool courtroom with these seats and these podiums. Now, another thing we also got are these stage pieces. So these are also modular. They all work the same. They're just stage pieces. They kind of elevate you off the floor just a little bit. There aren't any animations attached to them. They're stage pieces. So they kind of serve one purpose and one purpose only. You could have made these, I guess, with basic shapes, but it's nice to have objects that are dedicated to specific things like this. The next thing we have are these other stage props. These are kind of like, I guess you would kind of use these as stairs, or it could be like obstacles or something of that sort. And then over here, wait, I'll wait to talk about this because I was kind of excited when we got So over here we have this little fence gate, which is like a regular sort of venue, sort of metal fence gate, which I think is pretty cool, and it's free place. So it's not like an actual fence, it's like decoration technically. And then over here we have some interesting props. So these are essentially just cardboard versions of their in-game or like real life, I guess, counterparts. So it's just these are pretty cheap, I'm pretty sure. Let me not get this wrong. So the tree is $225 and the rock is $180. So the tree is actually more expensive than if you were to buy the real life tree, but the boulder is significantly cheaper. So if you're trying to save money and you can kind of get away with, you know, this being in the back, you could use this boulder. I don't believe, yeah, you can't scale these. I don't think there's a single item here that you can scale. I just lied. There is this wonderful microphone stand, which I really, really like this object because I've tried to make like entertainment sort of like bonus rooms. And I was like, wait, it would be so nice if I could have these drums and like a piano and a microphone, but we never had a microphone until now. And you can actually scale this up and down. Well, just down apparently. So you can scale it down. So I guess shorter people, like the teens and the children, would be able to reach them. And we also have a freestanding version. So if you wanted to make your own microphone stand, you could. We also have these cardboard cutouts of Tom and Sarah. I played Bloxburg for so long and I'm not sure if those are the names. I'm quite sure those are. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. That's so embarrassing. I'm not sure. I think it's Tom, but if it's not Tom, then he's forever gonna be Tom now. We also got these little horse, like the little horses that you ride on. I thought this was really interesting. I'm not sure what these are for, or I wasn't sure what these were for, but apparently these are horse obstacles. And I suppose you could use, let me just demonstrate it for you. So I completely failed at trying to jump over these. So essentially it's like riding a horse. You even gallop at everything. It's pretty cool. I wonder, let me sprint. Okay. See, clearly this is why I don't roleplay, y'all, because I'm clearly not good at it. But we do have two variants of this. We have a regular horse and we also have a unicorn, because you can't just have a regular horse. You also have to have a unicorn every single time. It's Bloxburg, of course. And we also have this ticket window, which is really interesting. I keep having to jump in and out of building road, but I was like, can you open this? And you can. That's really cool. I was about to say I don't really see any use of that outside of, building a venue, but this is literally just venue specific stuff. So it's really great for role playing. So I can appreciate that. I guess if you were doing maybe when we have like drive-through windows and stuff, maybe it could be useful in a restaurant, possibly, or a place where you want to be able to pass things through the window, but you don't want people to like be able to fully climb through the window. And we've seen some crazy people climb through drive-through window.
You can come back here.
We're not here now.
So maybe you want to use this there. In these last few objects here, we have these kind of fancy event tables. I was going to start off with the flowers. So let's start off with that. I love this object. It's a little fancy for probably what I would be doing with it, but I do like that we have another bouquet of flowers. It's a mix of the lilies, roses, and another unknown flower that we don't actually have in game. Maybe a daisy in there, but just a different model. They look really good and they come in the same color as the event tables. And let me tell y'all, these tables are very expensive. This one on the left is $2,200. This one is, I just had to check before I said something wrong. This one is $2,500. And this chair is almost $1,000. It's $950. I do love these objects because I'm like, if you're role playing a wedding, like these are literally perfect, especially these chairs. I love this chair. But other than that, I'm not sure where else you could use these. Maybe a really fancy house possibly could be a good use for these. And that is essentially all the objects I can pull out. But we also got some new Bloxburg items that I just didn't really want to pay for. I have plenty of Bloxburgs, but I was being a little stingy. So we have a new theatrical track lights, and apparently it tracks your character. Actually, I'm gonna have to test this out. So I'm gonna move these chairs, but I'm also gonna place the rest of this stuff. We got a swing gate, which this is actually really, really cool. Wow. Okay, maybe I will keep this. I might as well. And we also have a new credit card machine. Well, not new. This is the first one we're getting. Works the same way as a register, but it's just smaller and sleeker looking. And we also got this unicycle, which I was not expecting a unicycle, but I suppose this is actually a good update to include this in because it's like, performing arts. So unicycle, I don't know why it kind of just fits, but let's test out this light. Well, it definitely doesn't track you like it says. Maybe I'm doing something wrong by chance, but it doesn't track you. It's a really do y'all see the lights effect on that? That's really pretty. that would be nice if they had like if we had other direct lighting options that had this. Now that I'm looking at it, we don't have anything like this in game. As far as I'm aware, all the other spotlights are just, I don't believe they're directed like this. Like if you see this one, the light is clearly pointed this way, but at the same time, it's not as direct like this. We do have the other Premiere spotlight that kind of has the same sort of lighting effect. It's just larger, but I really like that. I would like for them to add that on the rest of the sort of track light or spotlights that we have. Even the pendants. That would be a cool option to have a really direct light like this, especially with this little lens flare. That's not a lens flare, but you know, the lighting effect. So I think that would be pretty cool. We also have this cash register, which you can take. You can take this around. You see another role-playing opportunity. You can go stand on the corner at the Bloxy Burgers and, you know, role play as a homeless person. And when they're like, hey, I don't carry cash, just pull out the credit card machine. It's that simple. But only if you're homeless. We're not standing on the corner for anything else. And then we also have this little gate so you can open it. I suppose you're supposed to use this with like a, but can you just jump over this? This is cool. I like the animations and everything. I just feel like there should be like an invisible wall almost to prevent you from jumping over it until it's opened, but still a really cool object. And we also got this lovely unicycle. Oh, this is a rough ride. Oh gosh, the animation. This is a rough ride. Why is it so bouncy? Is this supposed to happen? Do y'all see this? Because the rest of the vehicles, they don't ride this rough. Well, I suppose it's because, you know, you're trying to balance and everything as well. Well, that's pretty interesting. So that is all of the new items. But again, I do want to mention, well, I'm really broke right now. I'm gonna have to sell these. We do have other variants of these. So we have, well, I'd use the beach one. We also have the forest. That is so pretty. That is really, really pretty. We got a desert. We have like a sort of enchanted or haunted forest. Oh, and I showed y'all the mountain. Y'all saw that one. That was on the other one. These are really, really pretty. And the quality of them is actually really good as well. I mean, until you zoom in, like really, really zoom in. But you're not going to be zooming in anyways, because you're going to be sitting in the audience. So these are really nice. I'm wondering actually how tall these are. So they're exactly 2 stories tall. I was wondering if they actually made it so they could fit inside like a room, but they are 2 stories tall. The other one was about 1 story tall, I'm quite sure. But these are actually really cool. They're so pretty. I was not expecting that, but yeah, those look amazing. And I actually just figured I am missing an object. We have a stage lift. I don't know why I was doing this at golden hour. My server is perpetually in golden hour. I hope you guys could see. But anyways, if I toggle this lift, whoa, it's like, you know, when Beyonce got in that little cage thing and it lifted her up. Well, not necessarily. No, it's like Despicable Me when it was like the first one and they got lifted to the moon. And they were dancing and yeah, iconic by the way. But this is actually really cool. I would hope so. It is $6,000 for that little lift, but that's actually really, really cool. I really want to see what people are going to put together with all these objects. I'm actually really interested. But now I want to go into the money part of this video. So I tested the incomes I made with 2 accounts. We had different levels and such. I'm going to do a quick voiceover of that, and then we're going to come back and then we're going to see how much we make now compared to what we did before. So here we are. I was working actually right before the update came out. This is around 10-ish a.m. So I worked for 10 minutes each time, exactly 10 minutes, to kind of compare how much we would be making. So I kind of just cut out a lot of the footage here. Right here is it before the update, and this is how much I made. So I made $24,341 in 10 minutes. That's pretty much me working the entire time. And take into account that your promotion progress in each specific career actually doesn't really matter. You're going to make the same amount across all jobs. It only looks at your total work experience. So if you have 100% or level 100 work experience, you're going to have the same amounts as me. So now here is another little time lapse of me working right after I finished like reviewing all this stuff. And I also worked for 10 minutes. I also used the boost moods thing just in case that had any effect both times. And we are almost done here. So I'm gonna pull up the screenshot. This time I will have to say that it might be just a little off because I wasn't working the entire time. I teleported, which was not the best idea. I should have just drove there. And so like because when you teleport, it already kind of puts you in your shift at least 20 to 30 seconds. So taking that into account, I'm suspecting that I would have made about 30 to 32,000, actually 32,000 is a stretch. I'm suspecting that I would have made about 30,000 this shift compared to the 24,000 that I made last time. So it's actually not that much of a difference. I mean, it's some. I don't know if this is going to scale better if you have a lower work experience. But I would love to see you guys' results as far as the pay increase. You can't see my hands, but I'm doing quotation marks because I'm like, this isn't that much. It's something though. So it's somewhere to start. And if I remember correctly, before the update, I kind of feel like I was making about 30,000 every 10 minutes, which is not bad. So maybe this is good. So as I sit back in my relaxing chair, I do want to give like a final overview. I would say this update, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I'm not really interested in the stage props or anything, but it's cool. I think it adds something else for players to do in the game. And the pay increase, however much it was, or whatever percentage it is, it's nice to have the payback. And also, I forgot to mention again that fainting and towing bills are gone. So that's another thing that we should take into consideration. I would say this is a pretty decent, you know what? If you subtract the pay and the fainting bills and stuff, because honestly that's how the game was before whatever insane community or game manager they had was working on it. And for just looking at the new items look great. They're fantastic. The models are good, and I think they're going to be useful for people that want to build event venues. If you're not building event venues, you're not going to find any use for them. Same thing with the last update. If you're not going to camp, you're not really going to find much use in any of those items. And I think it's actually okay that we're getting items that are very specific to certain players. So if you like camping, we have plenty of camping objects for you to use. If you like building theaters or just role-playing in general, I would say that this update is definitely going to be for you. Me on the other hand, I don't do either of those things in real life or in games. So I'm not going to find much use in them, but I think if they keep sort of appealing to these different niches, I think eventually they'll kind of get to everyone. So yeah, that's kind of my final thoughts on the update. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below. I will be releasing a new project tomorrow, hopefully, if I have time to update. I said update. Update is always on my mind. If I have time to edit it, because I have to take the ACT tomorrow. TMI maybe, but I do have to do that. So we're gonna see, and I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and do all those fun YouTube things, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.